Picture this, it's Sunday night, I'm all geared up and ready to watch my weekly episode of House of the Dragon. What do I see? A trailer for Dune Prophecy, the all-new HBO Dune spin-off series that is coming to HBO this November 2024. Now, Dune Prophecy takes place 10,000 years before the ascension of Paul Atreides, and it follows around two Harkonnen sisters. The power and dynamic of the universe is slipping out of control, threatening chaos and disorder, and these two sisters will eventually go on to found the Bene Gesserit. Bene Gesserit, as we know, is an extremely influential force in all of the Dune books. They're known for their genetic breeding program. They're known for being this invisible string that helps keep the power balance in effect in the universe. They're also known for possessing almost superhuman abilities at physical and mental conditioning, as well as voice control, being able to influence others, etc. First thoughts from the trailer. It's clear that this is not Denis Villeneuve's work, but it's clear to me that the showrunners and the creators are paying homage to the universe that Denis Villeneuve has created, which is what we can call the 21st century take on Dune. The book itself was a very 60s novel, psychedelic. The Lynch movie in the 80s was very 80s, and now we're getting into the 21st century where we have that ability to showcase really epic things and actually create entire worlds while not making it feel too contemporary and tied to the type of society that we are right now. Now, at first glance, I am very excited about this. I think there are two things that really make Dune Dune, and that is the weirdness, the politicking, those human-to-human interactions, the way that humans function in this future world, as well as the scope and the spectacle of Dune. Now, I think that Denis Villeneuve does a wonderful job of diving into the scope and the spectacle, and some of the politics, the internal conflicts, the human-to-human conflict might get lost. When I first saw the trailer, my initial reaction is, this is House of the Dragon in space. I think it looks really good, and I have high hopes for it. Now, that's not to say I think it's a bullseye complete success. I think it's really going to depend on how they wrestle with different themes and how they truly build the blocks of the Bene Gesserit. Now, what I hope this isn't is like a hyper-feminist think piece. But me personally, as a woman that gets like old, it feels like pandering. I hope it's driven by dynamic characters. I hope they take the time to world build. I hope the dialogue is sharp and smart. I hope the dialogue itself and the dynamics really show the difference between either the different houses or the different people. I really hope that that's where the fascination lies, and the world itself is still there. It's beautiful. It's well established to kind of cushion that. I really don't recognize much of this cast. One of the more prominent cast members is a well-known actress in Hindi films, in Bollywood. We also have Emily Watson. She is a veteran of many different shows, unfortunately, none of which I've watched. We have Mark Strong, who is probably one of the only actors that I recognize. I love a completely new cast of characters that have all the potential in the world. Like, think House of the Dragon, think Game of Thrones. You don't have a ton of name recognition, but that really allows these characters to come in, to fit in with the time period, to adapt with their roles. At first glance, visually, I think it's well suited to tie into the world that Denis Villeneuve has created, while also still feeling like it took place 10,000 years in the past. I kind of look at this with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the Hunger Games. Both are completely different. As even less than 100 years before, you really have the difference between that old, clunky, rusty way of doing things and then the high tech of the Hunger Games. However, they still feel like they're in the same world, in the same universe, which I think is an example of a prequel really well done that still fits into the world of the movies to come. Not to draw out the connection to House of the Dragon, but I do think if you look at House of the Dragon and the Dance with the Dragons, that is a very auxiliary but fundamental part in what would precede the events of Game of Thrones. Bene Gesserit are such a fundamental part of the Dune universe. They can exist without their origin story, but I think having that origin story and that perspective will be fascinating if done well to then inform other Dune film movies. There are so many fascinating groups of people in the Dune universe, the Bene Gesserit, the Bene Tleilax, Mentats, that have their own schools and conditioning. They act more like superheroes than like humans, and they've done that as a way to survive, as a way to adapt. That's what I love so much about Dune, is that it takes place in a world that we can understand. You don't want science fiction to be too crunchy. You want it to help you understand humanity by taking place on a plane that isn't where we are right now, so that it's accessible. That's all I have to say. That's all my hot take really is. I don't think that I'll be able to say any more until I actually watch the first episode. Will you be watching it with me? Shall we review it together? I'm pretty sure November will be here right around the corner. If you love Dune content and want to follow along as I review Dune Prophecy, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and tell me in the comments below what you're looking forward to, and we will talk more about it very soon. Bye.